Hey viewers, welcome to another game analysis series. Today, as you can see, we're doing Kog'Maw, and we are starting off with Chaox's Kog'Maw. So Chaox obviously playing bottom lane with Kog'Maw, and he is assisted here by Sona. And yeah, the difference will be between whether you have a healing support or non-healing support. Depending on that, you pick your first item. So first item in this case is going to be the blade, Dorn's blade. Yeah, it's going to differ between the different games, what support you have and what opponent you have, and based on those two aspects you're going to pick your first item. As you can see, he starts off with 69 attack damage, whereas Kog'Maw normally starts out, so if you have no runes, no masteries, no nothing, you start off with 46, which makes it obvious that he has invested quite a lot in getting his attack damage early game up, so probably flat 80 red and quints, as well as having a lot of points in the offensive tree. So this is a pretty recent game. So this is new jungle. This is well, maybe not the latest patch, but still a very recent patch. So Kog'Maw hasn't been changed a lot in recent times, at least. And he is going to start off by helping out the jungler. Yeah, you normally do this. You can stay around for helping the blue buff. It is obviously not necessary, as the mid and your support can help, and if you're going to miss the first minion because of this, then it is definitely, or take damage from it, it's definitely not worth it. In this case, yeah, he lost some mana because he helped. He did miss the first minion as well, and he took a little bit of damage, but that little bit of damage really doesn't matter. Missing the first minion does matter, by the way. So if you can avoid that, if you can just go in lane without your support, letting your support and your mid help out the jungler, that is fine as well. It gives you, well, the extra 20 gold or so from the first minion, as well as it gives you some solo XP. Maybe if your support isn't there yet, and it may not mean a lot, but you can reach level 2 a little bit quicker that way. And since the enemy team still has the opportunity to get the double golems, you will be behind in XP, because if they do it correctly, you can still do it. They changed the speed at which the golems run at you, but that really only means that instead of taking no damage at all, you take like 50 damage each, and that is not enough to make it, well, make people stop doing it. So the jungler is coming in, so they're kind of giving that away here by healing him, because they could see the heal going out. Yeah, you can actually see the heal going out of the bush if she now heals Kog'Maw, which she's not going to do if she's smart enough. But yeah, you can see the heal coming out, so you can see the that Sona is there, even though you cannot see the actual Sona. I think at some point they will change that. Anyway, yeah, Kog'Maw is not really hard to play, as in tactically. He is hard to play as in to actually play him. Because, well, he is kind of squishy. So as you can see, Kog'Maw is staying back behind the minion, not attacking at all until he can last hit a minion. Last hitting being that you only need one hit to kill them. And here immediately going on the Blitzcrank, because Blitzcrank went aggressive. He lost about 3 minions for that. A couple more actually. Well, he lost a couple more there, but yeah, because he went on Blitzcrank, he lost 3 minions. And therefore you should always consider whether or not it is worth it to actually do that. Because you're not going to kill Blitzcrank, you're just going to res him a little bit. And is it really going to be worth it to lose 3 minions, which is about 60 gold at this point, to just do a little bit of damage on Blitzcrank? Personally, I don't think it's worth it. And oh, top lane has Sona as well. Okay, I was wondering. So apparently top lane has a Sona and bottom lane has a Sona. I really didn't expect that, as normally we see these pro gamers only play at in ranked games, and you never get repeats of champions in ranked games, obviously, because of the way the picking system works. But this is apparently blind pick normal game or custom game, but I'm guessing a blind pick normal. Maybe he's just practicing a little bit with his Kog'Maw. I really have no idea. But yeah, you can see him standing in his minions, and even when he's trying to go after one of his opponents, he's not really being aggressive towards them, because he knows he can get picked off quite easily. Jungler coming in, using the slow behind them to make sure that they cannot escape, and for the rest, yeah, he's going to use the W to do some extra damage, but yeah, it's not going to result in a whole lot. So let's rewatch that. It wasn't really impressive. Yeah, they're going to kill this guy, obviously. And then Sona's probably going to die. But yeah, we see the jungler coming in. He's now at red. Yeah, fast forwarding last time didn't work too well, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just let this play out. Jungler is going to come around the back. You can see him on the minimap. And Kog'Maw is going to move towards a position behind the enemies. The enemies are going to be lured in by Sona. Kog'Maw is going to move behind the enemies, making sure that his slow, his E, is going to hit both of the enemies, or rather block the path on both of his enemies. And Caitlyn at this point should realize something is going on, but she didn't. They have no wards out apparently. And she didn't realize that Kog'Maw was in fact coming up behind her. And so here you see him hitting just on the edge, because he wants to make sure that if Caitlyn runs back at that exact moment, because he could have placed it a little bit further forward or something like that. He wants to make sure that he actually gets her, so gets her slowed, as well as just because it does damage, as well as block the path for this other guy. So did he actually? Yeah, he had his exhaust up as well. So he used his exhaust at this exact same moment. Yeah, he wanted to block the path with the slow a little bit earlier already. Didn't do that. I think this was a better choice to do. Yeah, the later it comes in, the better it is, because the slow only matters when people run away. The later you can use it, because Caitlyn was still running forward, so you don't need to slow them down when they're moving forward, because they're coming towards you and your team. You need to slow them when you are attacking them, because then they're going to want to run away. So by this time everyone is in the fight. They're all going to focus the one guy that does damage. That's also why he used the exhaust to prevent the damage from Caitlyn, and the initial burst is the most important thing to get rid of there. So that's exactly what he did, and he's just going on farming again. And as you can see, then the rest comes in and just kills this last guy. Sona taking a few too many tower shots there. Should have just died to the turret, because as you can see, there's no assist. So if she just suicided to the turret, it would be fine. It would have been a wasted ultimate on Twisted Fate, and yeah, that just wasn't the play he should have made, or she. Getting another slow off, and they're escaping. Obviously with Kog'Maw, because he's really a glass cannon, he can do a lot of damage, but it's really, really squishy. Yeah, you should really just try to use the heal defensively normally. We saw him use it offensively here, which is still a great use, but you have to be sure that you can escape. Because if you get caught, then yeah, you're screwed. You're not going to get out if you don't have the slow. Even with the slow, it is hard to get out. So yeah, I'll come back to the skills, but you see that he levels up all 3 skills, just like with virtually any champion. I think the exceptions are there. I mean, Soraka, for example, almost never levels up the Q. But most champions have all 3 skills by level 4, or should have all 3 skills by level 4. Some of them even should have all 3 skills by level 3. And yeah, as I said, Soraka would, for me, be one of the examples of a champion that only needs to have 2 skills leveled up, and the last one is only leveled up when you have to. Support Nunu is also a good one there. Support Nunu only should level up his Q when he has to. Anyway, going back to the laning phase, going for 2 Doran's Blades plus level 2 boots. Level 2 boots will increase his attack speed, which isn't too big of a deal yet. So that's not why he buys them. He buys them to get the little bit extra mobility. So he is actually a little more mobile, can escape a little bit better, and yeah, as you can see, he only can get in range for like 1 hit or 2 hits, and that therefore it's not really important to have the higher attack speed yet. Higher attack speed will come in very useful in the later game, but that's not the reason to go for the level 2 boots here, this early. Obviously the Doran's Blades are for the extra survivability as well as the extra damage and the extra lifesteal, because they provide the necessary health to escape ganks or to survive ganks, and yeah, overall they're just really good at keeping you alive. Obviously you should never go Doran's Blades if you have a non-healing support, because then you can get harassed quite a bit, and that is exactly what they're doing to the enemy here. So I will go back and rewatch some of the things they're doing in more detail. So anyway, so far we see him farming up and farming up and farming up. It's not really the point of winning the lane at this point, so it's not the point to push the lane into the enemy turret, which we saw with the Vladimir games. It was mostly about getting more minions than your opponent and trying to push them into the turret, push the minions into the turret to deny farm and things like that. But because this is a 2v2 lane, that is very, very hard to do. And this was actually what this lane is about. Obviously I didn't know this was coming, otherwise I would have said something before. But yeah, as you might have already noticed, from this point onward somewhere, he's starting to harass with his ultimate. He's trying to hit her all the time. Yeah, he has been doing that for a while. She's using health potions to stay alive and to keep her health up, but every time he can, or he thinks he has an opportunity, he's going to shoot an ultimate. There we go, another one. And he's also going to use his W whenever someone comes close enough. But yeah, the W is not really that effective. Sona is doing the exact same thing, and then at this moment, so at actually at Yeah, Sona's coming in here for Q plus power chord, and then at this moment he hits an ultimate on Blitzcrank, and I actually want to go for Blitzcrank because he goes to like 300 health, and with an attack damage of nearly 100, that should be an easy kill. But Blitzcrank is actually running back while Caitlyn is running forward, meaning that Caitlyn is now a very easy target. So he's going on Caitlyn, using his W, and he's going forward and forward and forward, using the ultimate to try to get a last hit off. And now, yeah, he's leading his target, but only by a very, very small amount. If that was a little bit further, he would have gotten a sure hit, but still, this is going to hit. So she has to flash out here, and that's exactly what she does. Sona, in the meantime, is coming in from the back. Kog'Maw immediately backing out. He knows he has no chance of catching up with her. She still has her 90 caliber net if she leveled that up, and they're not going to be able to pick off Blitzcrank. But the harassment is what the bottom lane is about. You try to harass your opponent until you can actually kill them, and this could have been a double kill if the enemy played this a little bit differently. This would have been a double kill, and yeah, then you deny farm that way. You don't deny farm by pushing your lane in bottom lane because it's just too dangerous. You have two guys there already. If the jungler comes in, you can have a 3v1 situation because people are going to focus the carry only. The support champion really is in no danger at all. Also, this is important if you harass people out of the lane, obviously. You're going to pick up a free dragon, and yeah, although they get spotted by the Twisted Fate ultimate, really doesn't matter. There's nobody there to stop them. They know that Caitlyn and Blitzcrank had to get out of there, and they're going to get a free dragon immediately afterwards. Yeah, by this time we can safely say that he has been doing a great job of winning this lane. And although the game is far from over, he already has quite a lot of golds gathered up here. He is able to almost buy his BF swords if he's going for that. You can go for several items here as a third, depending on whether you're winning or losing your lane. In this case, he is winning the lane. And if you're winning the lane, you should go for the most expensive item you can find with the least protection. If you're losing the lane, so this Caitlyn in this case, yeah, that's nice. They can see him. That's why warding is so important. But if you're losing the lane, you're actually going for a third Doran's Blade, the lantern. Come on, Wriggle's lantern. Things like that. So the more defensive build, and afterwards you go for an Infinity Edge. So yeah, let's see what happened here, because they got one kill here, which is good enough. And yeah, they actually lose the jungler, and they're going to maybe lose. Oh, he gets out. That was excellent play. A little bit lucky there. So let's see what actually happened. I want to see before the first kill. This was not before the first kill. So at this point the enemy jungler is here, and he is just staying back. He's staying back all the time. Blitzcrank comes in, and Blitzcrank is going aggressive on him now, but he knows that his jungler is here as well. He knows it's a 3 versus 3 situation, but Lee Sin is far back. Caitlyn is now pretty close, but was pretty far away when Blitzcrank started to attack, so he knew he could win this fight and then probably win the fight with Caitlyn. And if by that time Nocturne had come in here, Nocturne who does have his ultimate up, they should be able to win this 3 versus 3 that is on this whole side of the map. So he's going to first do a lot of damage to Blitzcrank. Blitzcrank has to back off. He immediately switches to Caitlyn because he knows Blitzcrank is not really a threat. He already used his rocket grab. He probably used both of his other skills as well that actually matter. And then he's going for the Caitlyn immediately. Nocturne coming in, dodging the Q from Lee Sin, which is excellent. That is what should happen. And the enemy is going to attempt to run away. So they can do two things now. They can either go after them, or they can go for this Lee Sin, who is lagging behind. My opinion, I would let Nocturne chase this guy down, and with the two of them go after the Lee Sin. Because this Caitlyn, yeah, Caitlyn was pretty dead anyway, and Nocturne could have picked that up on her own, on his own, and they probably could have picked off this this Lee Sin. But now, yeah, even though this guy is pretty low, the ultimate is still okay. I mean, there was the second stack on his ultimate. That's okay. It costs a little bit more mana, but they're not going to get this guy. The Lee Sin also, you're not going to get him. So at this point you should back out with all three of them, because yeah, if you paid attention to the minimap, which I'm sure they have, I would not be able to, but you can see Twisted Fate coming in. So yeah, someone saw him at least, because there's a ping going down. And so Twisted Fate using his, I think it's Ghost there, and is going to be able to stun him. He still has his exhaust up, which is going to save him. I mean, I already know he's going to survive, so I can say that now. So he did get stunned, he got hit by the wild cards, and still, because of the lifesteal of these Dorn's Blades, plus the extra life he has because he's well under 200 health now, he can actually stay alive through all of this. And Twisted Fate's not going to be able to finish him off. So nicely played. There were several small mistakes in that. But yeah, in the end, the important thing is that he survived and he got his BF sword. The important thing is not that he got the kill on, or well, they as a team got a kill on the enemy. The fact that the enemy got a kill back is kind of important, but him surviving is way more important than any of that. Because now he's going to be able to stay in this lane, get more minions, and with his BF sword do a whole lot more damage. But in bottom lane it's not so important that you get kills, it's that you get all of the minions. Because these guys are going up to like 300 minions in the end game, and if you're lagging behind by a little in the early game, you're going to get you're going to get denied in the end game. You're not going to get the 300 minions, you're going to get 200 minions maybe, or 150. We saw several games already decided by just that, and obviously the behavior of your jungler is going to be really important here. So your jungler, your support are really going to influence your play quite a bit. We see him harass him here all the time, and he's actually going to get a kill because he's ahead in gold. And I'm not sure if he ever clicked the what's her name, Caitlyn, or if he pulled up one of the score screens, but I don't think so, because I want to see what her items are. Yeah, there we go. So as you can see, she is losing the lane. So as I said before, if you're losing the lane, you're going to go for 3 Dorn's Blades and Wriggle's Lantern. So for Wriggle's Lantern, you mostly buy the lifesteal first, so the Vampiric Scepter. Although in this case, yeah, oh no, in some cases, I should say not in this case, in some cases it would be helpful to go for the armor first, so the cloth armor, because the reduction, the damage reduction from the cloth armor is going to be more valuable than the lifesteal from Vampiric Scepter. So, because Kog'Maw is mostly magic damage, he does a lot of damage in the end game, which is all just physical damage, but in the earlier game, where we are now, it is kind of 50-50. In the really early game, it's virtually all magic damage, because his Q does magic damage, his W I'm not really sure, but I'm pretty sure his magic damage. His E is magic damage and his R is magic damage. So the cloth armor is not going to be that important. But yeah, as we can see, at this moment they're equal. But he's just going to harass. He's going to use his W to increase the range, and immediately going to use the ultimate to get some extra damage done. And then, yeah, once the W wears off, he's going to back off, or in this case she runs out of range. He's going to back off, but he knows that she cannot come close, so he's going to stay on this side of the minions, so behind the enemy minions. He has to back off here just for a little bit, because otherwise these minions are going to attack him instead of his minions. So we're going to see him run behind his minions until all of the enemy minions have logged on to, well, the purple minions. So and then he's going to turn back around, because then once the minions have their targets, you can run around freely again. And he's going to just keep harassing her, because he knows that he can stand over here and there's nothing she can do about it. Blitzcrank is in middle lane, and their jungler, yeah, he doesn't really know that, but that's okay. He's not going to be caught by the jungler plus this Caitlyn, because then he's just going to kill Caitlyn. If she stays in range, he's going to kill Caitlyn. So the ultimate does give him vision over the brushes. He uses that to keep spotting her, uses his W to keep harassing her, and gets a very easy kill. A little bit easier than I thought possible. But that's because she doesn't have a support here. And if you're this far behind, you need your support there. Because if Blitzcrank was there, Blitzcrank would have been able to stop that. But now, yeah, it's just Blitzcrank, and he's not going to be able to do anything. So the movement speed aura on Sona is excellent, because it helps him dodge the rocket grab. And these games, yeah, are going to be a little bit longer than the Vladimir games that I did, because here the laning phase takes longer. With Vladimir, you can see after, I don't know, this period of time, like 15 minutes, you're either really ahead or you're really behind. And most of the times, if you play it correctly, you will be ahead. And if your enemy is just better than you, so if you're getting countered by the enemy champion, then you will be really behind, but it's all decided by this time. Whereas here, well, in this game it is kind of decided already. Because Caitlyn cannot really farm anymore. She's going to have to farm in the later stage of the game, when they group up and team fight. But as you might have noticed, the middle lane and the top lane are already kind of in a state where, yeah, they're not in lane all the time anymore. They just can roam around a little. They can push their whole waves to the turret, and yeah, it's just decided in those lanes. In this lane, it really isn't decided yet. So Blitzcrank getting really low because of all the harassment done on him, and yeah, that's because of Sona, but also because of the ultimate from Kog'Maw. Kog'Maw, yeah, has an ultimate that stacks, and it costs more mana every time he uses it in a row in a certain amount of time. But once it ticks down, it's back to its original amount. So we see the jungler coming in here, and we see both of these guys really low. So nothing is going to happen really. And then, yeah, we saw the mid coming in here with an ultimate. And the only thing he wants is to not get hit by the stun card. He's not afraid of Twisted Fate, because he still has his what's it called? The exhaust. But if he gets hit by the stun card, he is dead, and obviously you don't want that. So he has to let his support die here, and yeah, that's just because she's a support. As a support, you could see her running exactly the opposite way, and that is good play on her. Because they could have, hang on, at this moment, yeah, he's harassing, he sees the jungler coming in, so he's going back. Yeah, Sona is a little bit overextended there, but she's going to get out no problem. And yeah, here we see the Twisted Fate coming in, and instead of running with him, Sona is just going to continue on her route. She knows she's going to die, but she also knows that once they have her, so if they go for her, which they are going to, there's no way they can follow up by killing Kog'Maw. If she ran this way, if she ran through the river, after they killed her, because this flash was used to chase her, so they would have been able to do that, and they would have been up here. And they could have followed up with killing Kog'Maw. But in this case, because she ran the other way, there's no way they can follow up by getting a double kill. And it may be details, but it is really important. If you're going to give away a kill, to not, or if you're dead anyway, to make sure that they're not going to have a really easy time getting a double kill out of that. Because especially because she ran back to the turret and Kog'Maw ran, yeah, to into the lane, into the river where there's no protection from turrets or junglers or anything really. Yeah, just make sure that they don't get an easy double kill. And as I said, it may sound like a detail because it's never going to happen, but you'll be surprised how many times this happens. And people just run as a group, and the enemies are just going to right click the first guy, and then after he dies they're going to right click the second guy, and they're going to get a double kill where only one of you had to die. I mean, against 4 champions, what are you going to do? You're not going to survive that. So yeah, Sona realizing that she was dead there. Don't know why she's going back again. She just came into the lane. But okay. I'd really like to see a score sheet, although it's not really that important. The only important thing is that he got to farm all game. There wasn't really a time at which he couldn't farm. Yeah, using his ultimate here to farm a little and then to chase this dude from he's just preventing him from going back home, which is kind of funny, and apparently still not realizing that there's vision on him. Oh, too late. So anyhow, I was reading the chat there for a moment. Yeah, by this time we can safely say that this game, this particular game, is over, but we will see in other games probably that that is not the case for all of the games. Some games will last way longer before it is decided who wins the lane, but in this case, yeah, we can safely say that with 4 kills in this bottom lane, they won this. So there's really nothing you can do to Kog'Maw in the late game if you protect him, because a team with Kog'Maw on it can be really powerful. And we saw a screen coming by there. Oh, there we go. Come on, you can do this. Oh, come on! Come on, pull it up. I know you want to. There we go. Kog'Maw 154. So Cho'Gath has more, but that's not the point. He's up against Caitlyn here, who has 108. So as you can see, 50 farm got denied just by the harassment. It has nothing to do in this lane with pushing the lane into the turrets, the thing we saw in top lane, mid lane with Vladimir, where people shoved whole lanes or whole waves into the turret after they harassed their enemy or killed their enemy, or the enemy just went home too far to buy. In this case, it is purely about positioning yourself in such a situation that the enemy carry cannot farm. And yeah, also it's a defensive build versus an offensive build. Yeah, they're right under each other. So 3 Doran's Blade versus 2 Doran's Blades, and then Caitlyn is going into Wriggle's Lantern, where Kog'Maw is going into the Infinity Edge directly. And that has to do purely with the fact that there's a difference in farm. With the Wriggle's Lantern, you're a little more protected in the bottom lane. You're also going to get a little bit easier time getting the minions because of the extra damage. And you're also going to get lifesteal from it, making it a little bit easier to stay alive. Obviously the extra Doran's Blades provide you with 100 extra health, 3% extra lifesteal, and a little bit, I think 10 extra damage. So yeah, that is, if you're behind, it is a good item. If you're ahead, you should never go for that. So anyway, yeah, I think this is the end of this game. I'm going to go over the skills a little bit, but this is as far as I go into the game. As you can see, he clearly won this one. I hope that we will see some some games where it is less obvious who is going to win, but I haven't seen all of the games yet that I'm going to do, so we'll have to wait for that. Anyway, yeah, we're going to go through the skill order. So W on level 1. W is your main skill here, because it provides you with the biggest advantage. Then Q on level 2, which when used in combination deals a lot of damage. It also is kind of useful in and of itself when last hitting stuff, but I think it gives you a magic resist debuff on the enemy, so reduction of magic resist. And then at level 3 he takes another level in what I assume is W, because W is your most important skill. Q also provides you with extra attack speed, I want to say, and that is really useful. So leveling that up can also be really useful. Level 4 is going to be the slow. Most of the times this slow will be the only level you put in it for AD Kog'Maw. If you want to play AP Kog'Maw, you're going to put more levels into it, because then your W is not going to be as effective. But yeah, the rest of the skills I cannot see. You can go through the video again and watch the cooldowns on things, and I'm pretty sure you can gather from that which levels he took. But anyway, the most important things we saw here were the extra AD in the beginning. So from the runes masteries, yeah, the fact that he stays behind his own minions or between his own minions when he wants to go aggressive, but never in the enemy's minions, because he's just not tanky enough to take that. And then once he has a clear advantage over his opponents, he's going to purely deny, and he's going to, once he hits level 6, obviously he's going to harass with his ultimate whenever he can, but making sure that he never uses more than 2 stacks, unless you can get a kill, because when you can get a kill, everything is allowed. And yeah, For the rest, I think yeah, we just saw some general play. Everyone will play Kog'Maw in kind of the same way. The slow, yeah, is really the defensive skill you have. Most of the champions have a defensive skill, and in this case, yeah, it's just to prevent people chasing you or to prevent people from getting away from you. But anyway, yeah, hope you enjoyed. I will see you next time. GG.